Hey guys, welcome back to Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. My name is Dylan, and boy, this is going to be fun. So this is my countdown of the greatest top sets from 1952 to 1980, and it's based off the base cards. Not the all-star cards or the combo cards or any of the special cards they put in there or the rookies from that season. This is simply based off of design. Now, I'll shoot a video. You're going to see some editing. I'm going to shoot a video up so you can see the Topps design in order, side by side next to me, so it like refresh your brain. I spent so much time thinking about this. I already have them written down. I'm not changing my thoughts on it. And I'm taking you guys on a deep dive into my collection in this process of me ranking the Topps designs. And if you haven't watched my channel, then you should go watch a few of my videos and you'll know very quickly that I love centered baseball cards. Vintage baseball cards are more rare, they're more scarce when they're centered and have just a perfect image and centered. Like, no matter what, the image is the most important, period. And then for me, obviously angering, I want both. So in my graded collection that you guys will see tonight, and I have a huge binder of ungraded cards, as you can see, 1976. That's the set to break the cat out of the bag, number 28 ranking, 1976 Topps. I have my graded card binder that I'm going to share let me rewind a little bit. I'm going to share where my collection was and where it's headed as we go through this video. So when I share a card, I might have sold that card initially in my collection over the last 2 years. I've been on this journey, or a year and a half basically, where I decided to sell every off-centered high grades I had, because I've been collecting cards for 30 years, graded vintage. I just would buy 7s and 8s. And then in the bigger giant cards, obviously I'd go lower, but I never crossed my mind to look for this centering until I got on YouTube 2 years ago, because my wife finally started paying attention to my cards all over the walls. She told me I could build this. This was her idea recently, but this has been here forever. And then we added this. I've had cards in my closet 15 years ago, in our pantry. I've had displays everywhere in my life. But now is the first time she looks at my wall, because YouTube, like, she knows this part of my life. I made so many friends that I text, and she's like, "Who are you texting?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's so-and-so, it's so-and-so." I'm just there. She's like, she'll just give me the stink eye. So she's the one that looked at my cards and said, "All your cards are off-centered." And I'm like, "No way." I go, "Well, that's a thing in this hobby that people have brought my attention to, and I'm starting to notice that." Now, is that awesome? Is that good? Like, I loved my off-centered cards before. I love my off-centered stuff in my ungraded collection, where I'm going to continue to buy those raw in like the dollar bins and the $3 and the $5 range. But off-centered graded, I won't buy anymore unless it's an iconic card that's $1,000 or more, where I could save a lot of money. But that's for another discussion. But I have taken a crazy journey, and what you'll see is my new, let me put the bat down, my new collection. And I saved like going through it over the last couple months, because I wanted to go through it with you guys. I'm going to do a close-up and show you guys what my collection looks like now. And what, if I had that card, I'll put it up in a scan next to it. So the video will show what I sold and what I ended up buying. And most of the cards, maybe when I go through them, I'll tell you guys, like, some cards I went and hunted for initially right when I sold them, because I wasn't used to selling I sold like 400 and something cards, graded vintage, that I had for 20 plus years, to acquire all these like lower grade cards, basically. Some I bought in 8s and 6s and 7s again, but it all depended where that card landed. If it was a big card, I wasn't going to be spending $800 if I can get it for $100 in a Ford. I won't even look at that other one. But this is where I take you guys in and show you guys, like, you guys are my friends, because you are, and even everyone that comments, like, I just want to take you on this journey and show you what you can do. I know a lot of people have huge collections at home and they're scared to sell them, and this isn't me trying to tell you to sell things, but what I did was really stressful and really scary mentally, like, selling certain cards. Like, I sold this is just an example, two 1958 Topps Ted Williams All-Star cards that, to me, were like, I had two of them, of course, because I had like 4 1956 Ted Williams. I had so many doubles and triples of Ted Williams. I sold both of those 58 Topps All-Stars, and I have yet to find another one that is to my standings. It's like crazy. So, and I hunt for that. But then there's most of these 76 cards, these 1976 Topps cards, I didn't hunt for them. I let them come to me. But there are a couple in there that I literally remember hunting for to find a replacement, because once I sold it, I felt like, oh my gosh, I got to have that card back. There's cards like that. And it's really hard to sell cards, ones that we've had and collected, and the actual piece of cardboard in a lot of cases means something. And just knowing that you held it for 30 years in your collection. I had these huge safes that followed me around for decades, like stacks of vintage graded cards. So, each one has a story. Even when I buy them online, I still knew the story, and I knew why some of them, I bought certain ones. So I do have ungraded or off-center stuff that you will see at times while I go through this video. Maybe not this video, but in future videos when we get more into the 50s, because I know they're going to be a little higher up on my list, of course, most of them. Might be surprised, a few of them. But, I want you guys to see where my collection was and where it's going, to maybe motivate you to not be scared to sell some of your, like, Topps cards aren't rare in themselves. They're not. You can find any of these Topps cards, any of these cards you're going to see tonight. Most of the cards on my wall, you can find them every day. You can find 100 of them tomorrow on eBay. Pretty much any of them. But you can't find them centered, and you can't find them with the image that looks like a 7 and centered, and you can't find them graded as easily as you would think. Some cards are incredibly hard to find centered, and I have a system now that I keep track of every card that comes in. I haven't gone through the ones that I had in the past, but over the last 6 months, I have a scale 1 through 100 on centering, and I give each card a grade. It could be an 88. It could be a 98, which I probably have 2 98s. My scores don't line up with PSA. They're stricter because their 9s can be tilted. Their 9s can be off-centered more than my 9s or my 90 and above. But I created a scale myself to learn about every single Topps card that I pick up. Is this one really hard to find? Centered? I mean, that stuff's fun to know. And thus, us who've been collecting for all these years know which ones are really hard, but when you get down to some are really easy. So I'll show you guys some that you can go pick up, perfectly centered, take your time, and just don't worry, they're out there. I'm going to I like to dive in and talk about my cards in that way. So I'll show you guys a card and I'll be like, this is an 82 in my scale. And you might look at it and be like, that's the most centered card I've ever seen. You probably will say that because I have strict rules and I am very careful with what is coming into my collection, because I've bought cards over the last year and a half when I made the switch, and even the last month, that didn't make the criteria after I had the card in hand. So I'm very strict on what gets into my graded vintage collection. There are certain cards that are going to be off-center. You're going to see them, and I'm going to share them, and they're going to have a story, or they just look so spectacular, and you always want to have an example of a pack fresh. But I think my collection, to me, my eyes and my wife's eyes, it is incredible. Every card to me looks like a 10. It looks like a card's supposed to look like with my eyes. You will definitely see, obviously, issues with some cards, and I'll point them out, or I won't. And I'll also tell you what I paid for these cards if I remember it in the moment. I like to show you guys the journey. Like, you can do this. This cost this, and I sold this PSA 7 or 8 for this, and I bought this PSA 4 or 7 again, or 5 for this price. You're gonna see that in these videos, and it'll be fun for me because I'll watch the video, you know, after it's published, and if I ever want to go back, like, I can look at my collection, and it's fun for me to share this because I wish these were things that I knew earlier. I have to give the credit mainly to, he doesn't know me. I don't, you know, I've never talked to him, but this guy named Matty C on Instagram. He changed the way I look at cards after my wife pointed out the centering, but he changed the way I looked at how inexpensive you can get some of these cards. You can sell these 8s for like $1,000 and get a 4 for $100. I mean, literally, that's the jump on a lot of cards you're going to see later on in my, when you get into the 60s and 70s. Like, there's huge jumps. And the guy Matty C is on Instagram. He buys any, he doesn't care about the grade. And he'll show an example of a 1972 Nolan Ryan and a PSA 4 that he purchased, and a 1972 PSA 8 or 9, and it'll show the 8 for $800, and it'll show the 4 for $75, and the 4 looks just as good. And after seeing listening to him talk on shows that I watched, he inspired me to do this. So I want to make sure he gets credit, and he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't watch my videos. Him and my wife were like huge influences in this. Was just like, dude. So I went all in, and I'll take you guys in deep. So let's go. Show you guys some cards. Oh, before I move on, yeah. So you guys, if you've been following me, you know I got a bunch of surfboards made with the 1975 Topps design, because I love the 75 Topps design, as you can see with the Yelp shirt. I got a bunch of surfboards made, and I broke one. Bit the dust, you know, tombstone right here. It happens. I wrote it twice. Broke it the second time. So that's the McCovey. Rest in peace, McCovey. Sorry, man. Okay, let's go. Show you guys some baseball cards up close and personal. Show you some stories. Show you befores and afters. Let's do this, man. I'm excited. I love doing these videos. So I just want to look at these cards. Dude, I haven't opened up this album. I kid you not. I opened it up today because I pulled one card out to put in here, but I didn't flip through. And I'm excited to see what I got in the last year and a half that I haven't gone through like over and over. So, okay, here we go. Woo! See you in a minute. Hey guys, welcome to the close-up. All right, let's get right into it. 1976 Topps. It's still a beautiful set. It's Don Field of Dreams' favorite set. I think nostalgically wise, I think it's his favorite set. And the Johnny Bench card, I believe, is his favorite card, which is an outstanding looking baseball card. You're not going to see it here. I don't think I have it in my stack. I know I don't have it in my long-term, center graded collection. I might have it in the stack of raws, but I don't think so. So what you see in the background here are the different cards from 1976, like the father and son cards. These are really cool. They're like George Brett has one. Just some awesome cards. And what a dream it is to play with your father, play with your son, or just play in the major leagues. And then you have a baseball card together. I think that these guys probably collected these cards themselves. Roy Smalley, and Junior here, I bet you they have quite a few copies of these. Just a cool way a cool thing about 1976. There's a lot of random different things in here. So you got the All-Star, Sporting News All-Star card. Shout out to Jake and RJ. Father and son vintage cards. Awesome channel. Awesome guys. They sent me this. I mean, who sent somebody a Ted Williams card? And they didn't realize that 1976 was going to be the next one on the list in the countdown. So really cool to just get this one for Christmas. I love these cards. You got the stats on the back. There's another awesome thing about 1976. And then you've got the combo cards, which I love. We'll see some of those shortly. And then you got the traded. And then you got the team cards. So let's just dive in. I'm going to change out the back. These are all from my graded albums that I grade myself. And then you're going to see my true collection that I'm keeping long term. And then I did pick out my favorite card from 76, but as I go, I'll probably change my opinion. I didn't look through my graded ones like I said, in a long time. But I did look through the ungraded ones. So, dude, let's just get right into it. First one, we're going to go graded here. And that is a Thurman Munson 1976 Topps card. And this is the All-Star, but these are base cards. So this is Thurman Munson's main card in the set. I had this, you'll see it in the corner here. I had this in an 8, PSA 8. And I sold that, I want to say, for around $65 and then bought this for like 15. I mean, this card, you'll see it. Like the 8 I had wasn't terrible. Let me click this into, there we go. It wasn't terrible, but it had a diamond cut to it. And this one, the eye appeal is off the charts. And it's a 5. So I don't even look at the grades anymore, you guys. Like, there's just no reason. I love this card of Thurman Munson, by the way. It's just a sick card. On my centering scale, it's not perfect. You got top to bottom issue slightly. This is an 83. But it looks really good. So like I do before, I'll line these bad boys up like this. I'll do a whole row and then I'll take them down and start again. So you guys can kind of get a feel for my collection. Oh, this next card's sick. Oh, one of my favorite players to collect. One of my favorite players of all time. Rod Carew. And he's with the Twins here. Looks like he's got a chew in his mouth. And this is a base card. And it's got the All-Star. Look, the 1976 designs, it's a really colorful design. And for me, to have it at number 28, it wasn't the easiest choice, but man, Topps has too many really good looking cards. And this, to me, this and 79 almost look exactly the same. And it's just, it's not anything against it. But when I get to the next one, or it's not the next one, but when I get to a base card, I'll explain more why it's not my favorite. I love the All-Stars. It's awesome. I wish they had the team logo. But Rod Carew, what a beautiful card right there. I think this is my original card. I actually think this one was just really nice. I bought a lot of my old cards sight unseen. I talk about it all the time. It's a place called The Pit, 20 plus years ago. I don't know if I bought that one there or not, but they weren't, you didn't get to see the card you were buying. Just buy 7s and buy 8s and you'd get what you got. It didn't really matter. That's what's kind of cool about grading. You can just do that technically, but now learning about centering and my eye is adjusted and seeing these centered cards together just makes them just really pop. Next one, Steve Garvey. John, that 70s show, favorite player of all time, Steve Garvey. Exact opposite of what I just said, but I love Steve Garvey, always have. I saw him at a restaurant when I was a kid, and that was like the only baseball player, and to me, he was a legend back when I was a kid. Steve Garvey. My parents recognized him. My parents don't even watch baseball. Never have. Never will. They knew who Steve Garvey was. They pointed him out to me. I was probably 6 years old. It's like, man, ever since then, I've loved Steve Garvey. And look at this card. It really screams like Dodgers to me. I know you got red in there. but it really is a really good looking card. And this is a 7, so really nice. Like, I don't remember what I paid for these ones here, but I know you could buy these for, dude, $20 each. Like, so far, every card you've seen, less than $20, guaranteed. No problem. Find them centered, like where they look as good as these. And these aren't perfect. If I have a perfect one, I'll point it out. These are all in the 83 to 88 range that you see here. 92 to me is like, if I have a 92, that means it looks pretty much perfect to the naked eye when you're not just staring at it for an hour. This next card, Rookie Cup card, Gary Carter. You know, it's what can you not love about this card? Here's kind of a base card. Having Rookie Cups, everyone loves Rookie Cups. I especially love Rookie Cups. Ever since 87 Topps and the Pete Rose, seeing that when I was a kid, just fell in love with the Rookie Cups. This is why I put this at number 28 on design. I'm not a fan of the caricature. I don't know how you say it. Character, whatever you call that little guy. It's just not my jam. Like, I don't want to see a fake catcher here. All the catchers have this, and then the batters have the batting, and so on and so forth. I would rather see the Expos logo right here. I mean, that's, to me, is a no-brainer. But I know guys like Dom, Staven Sports Cards, he likes that. So to each their own. But I would much rather have the logo here, or a picture of his head here, or just anything else besides that. To me, it's just, it's not my thing. But the backs on 76, they're awesome. You get your little cartoon down here. The 1964 Baltimore Orioles made only 95 errors in 163 games. That's impressive. That's pretty awesome. I mean, that's a pretty cool fact right there. So regardless, man, this is a beautiful card. Gary Carter. And what do you got here? A 7. Very nice. It's not perfectly centered. I'd say this in the 82 range. It's got it's a little wider over here, a little diamond cut. I mean, I'm telling you, to find copies that are perfect in any decade, any year is really hard, even the 70s. And I rank this, so on a scale of how hard a set is to find centered, I have a ranking for that. So overall, 1976, I gave it a ranking of a 5. Now, I'll put that in perspective. The 1952 has a ranking of 7. And then cards within certain cards, like, let's say, Roberto Clemente's 1965 Topps card. That'll be like a 9. And the Ozzie Smith. And there's a lot more that I'm finding that are 9s. But this, in an overall condition, 1976 is a 5. And I put 75 Topps as a 5. Pretty much every set in the 70s so far is ranked a 5. But within that set, there's harder cards. So I'll rank the card as well. So in my database, I'll put, like you guys care about this, but I don't care. I'm going to tell you guys how I do it. In my database, 1976, when I enter this spectacular Pete Rose card into my system, I know how hard this Pete Rose is to find centered because I had one, and you'll see it popped up in the corner in a higher grade, that I probably bought for like $12. I sold it for $200 during the peak, a year and a half ago or something, and I hunted this one down. This has a little bit of ink right here. I would like even a better copy of this, but centering on this, man, this card itself is ranked a 6 on hardness to find. And then the centering on this, I believe I ranked this a 90. Really, this is probably my the best centered one that you've seen so far. So this card, the set itself is ranked a 5 on how hard it is to find. And this card in the set is a 6. So I hope to have all my database, dude, I'll have all this data on every Topps card at some point in my life because I'll have bought all of them at one point or hunted for them. So I will know. And to give you another scale, 1987 Topps is a 3, and then modern cards are 1 on the scale on how hard they are. Gosh, look at those all together, right? I mean, that is a sight to behold. Let those soak in for a minute. It's so fun to go back through my collection like this and realize that I have all these 76 Topps cards, my 28th, one of my least favorite sets, and I have a lot of cards from there. It's really cool. I mean, there was a time when I was just buying 70s cards because they're cheap, right? So I didn't try and go after certain cards, but this one I did. Like after I sold one, I wanted this right away and the Thurman Munson. I really remember that. I think I had all the other at least two. I think I might have bought that later. But look at that. All right, let's rotate. Switching these out. I'm going to switch the back cards out as well. Oh, man, I love playing with my baseball cards. Isn't it just fun to go through and realize what your collection looks like and what you have? You can't see all your cards every day. It's not possible. And yeah, some people have tiny collections where they just want 100 of the best cards ever, which is awesome. I like doing this. It's like I have my own card show at my house at any time. Let's put these things up. I got the Nolan Ryan, Robin Yount, George Brett, Keith Hernandez. I put this on here because it stops the glare. There's a glare on that one. Tom Seaver. Oh, another George Brett. He gets a double slammer. There we go. Dude, all right, so we got the backdrop ready. Oh, I guess he's got a little shine now. I'll put this one. Oh, maybe because it was a team card. I had it sideways. There we go. Leave those stands out. Okay. I mean, dude, 1976, they're so cool. I love it. All right, I still got another stack here. Okay, next one. Oh, man, this one's sick. And, I mean, this could be one of my favorite cards from this set. This one has left me hunting for another copy. This one will be up for sale. This has a diamond cut to it that I just haven't had the heart to sell it yet because it's Reggie and I haven't found one that, I haven't gone like crazy hunting on this one. But this one's out of here at some point. See how it's got a diamond cut? It's all thick at the bottom. But Reggie is just an awesome. Every card of his, I love it. I mean, yellow, the way it matches in the greens. They did a really good job color matching. I will give 76 Topps credit for that. Really awesome job there. Oh, I guess only certain ones have the, must be the straight base cards. Let's look, because this doesn't have a cartoon on the back. Let's see what the next one does. All right, we'll put him right there. Even though he is going to get the boot from my collection at some point. But, oh, okay, so we got a high grade right here. See if you guys can tell the difference. Bobby Bonds. This guy was legendary. I mean, he was an incredible player. Didn't I have a Bobby Bonds up a minute ago? I know I did, yeah? Hold on, let me put that down. Where is that? Oh, yeah, right here. Dude, that's awesome. So, I got 2 Bobby Bonds cards from this set. The Topps traded. That's what it is. The Topps traded right here. And his regular card. Look at this card right here. So this is a 9. And I gave this a score of 86 on centering. As you can see, it's wider up here and wider over here than the bottom and the left side. Looks really good. I'm not selling this card. This is a, it's an inexpensive card even in a 9. I'm sure it's probably like a $35 card. Yeah, I don't know why some of them had that. Wonder why that one had cartoons. Yeah, the looks. We'll see every back as I go. So, it's really a sick card though, right? So we got a 9 here. So we'll stack him up, put him in the middle, so he can be like compared to the other ones. And you tell me. Next card is. And this is one I could easily say is my favorite. This is my favorite card from this set. Like one that, not looks wise, but a must have in my collection 100%. Like I have to have this card. Always. And that's the Hank Aaron. And this is Hank Aaron's last playing days card. And look at the centering on this. This is I think this is probably, I had that other one. This is very high up on the list for centering. And I believe I gave this a 92. Look at that card, though. I mean, dude, so this is a 6. Like, this is a 9, and I'll show you guys why. They look, I mean, this one even has better centering, and the colors look just as vibrant on this one. This was like 75 bucks. That Jackson is probably around like a $35 card. I think this was like 70 or 60 bucks, I think. I could be wrong off the top of my head, but I bet you could score this card very inexpensively. No problem. But, man, find one centered. Now, that's another issue. But look at the back. So, the reason this got a 6, it looks like a 10, except you got the back is like miscut. Dude, give me these all day long. If I could find these miscut backs, which I have a decent amount, normally it says MC on the label, so you get a little reason. I like that it says that because it makes you look for that. But these are like the secret ones because, you know, this card is a 10 without that MC. It qualifies as a 10 for the centering, the colors, the corner sharpness, everything. Oh, dude, just an awesome card. Hank Aaron. All right, next card is a shout out for Mangini. You know, he says this is one of the hardest cards to find centered, and it is. It's not crazy hard, and this one's not perfectly centered. He has a really, really, really nicely centered one, but it is up there. I have it as a 7 on how hard it is to find centered. And this is my first try when I wanted to get this card like in a centered. I have quite a few ungraded, as you can see. There's one in the background right there. I think there's another one. Yeah, there's 2. But I would love to get another one if it just comes up naturally. But I hunted for this one, and this was super inexpensive whenever I bought this. I bet you this is a $25 to $35 card in a 5. And these backs are so strange. This one. So this one's miscut too. So maybe that's why 5, you just got a little more corner wear than, that is blatantly seen. But yeah, this one's cut like that too. But dude, so second year George Brett. I'm at a loss for words because sometimes I just get lost in the card itself, just looking at it. Second year George Brett card. You can have this for so inexpensive. Oh my gosh, that's so sick. All right, see these little guys? Like just give me the team logo right there. Give me something else. Oh man, it kind of plays right into that one. That was for John Mangini. Oh, man, this one makes me think of Mangini as well. Willie Stargell. Love this freaking card. One of the greatest cards from 1976. The color matching on this, maybe it's just because the Pirates jerseys are just so epic. The way everything in this card matches and the image, I love this card so much. And this is an 8. This is a really, really nice. This might be my nicest centered, maybe my nicest card in my entire collection of 76 Topps cards. I've had this thing displayed on my wall so many times. Love it. I love this card. Look at the back. Yep. Stargell, man. Woo-wee. So cool. So there's the next round right there. Look at how good they look, all lined up. That Reggie throws it off just a little, but it looks centered from here. It's not like it isn't terrible looking. Definitely not terrible looking. All right. Last round, guys. Oh, dude. My favorite card from the set is still coming up. And I think you guys are going to like it. I think some of you might agree. Okay, let me put these here. Oh, stack these guys up. I'm gonna switch out the back again, just because it's fun. I get to see them again, and then I have video record of it. And I'm gonna be selling. I'm gonna be selling on Whatnot, and I'm gonna be selling cards from my graded binder collection. And yeah, here's the rookie, so I'll put that right there because we haven't seen one of those yet. I used to have Ken Griffey Senior's rookie from this year, in an 8, but sold it. So I'd really love to get that back at some point. Let's see, who haven't we seen? I have a huge stack, so I think since this is the last one, let me choose who I want out there. Let's see. We'll do Fergie. There we go. All right. All right. All right. Let's see these last ones. This is an awesome card. I haven't shown one of these up close, so this is good to look at. Get this light adjusted. This is a combo card, batting leaders. You guys all know how much I love these combo cards. It tells you about the history of the prior year right on the card. So in 1975, in the American League, Rod Carew, Fred Lynn, and it says the average right there, 359. Fred Lynn, 331, and Thurman Munson, 318. Really cool if I would have looked prior, grabbed Carew's card, Fred Lynn and Thurman Munson, put them in the stand right there, and displayed them next to each other. Dude, that would have been the wise move. Love the backs of these. Oh, look at that. You got leaders. Oh, wow. They put the average, batting leaders averages for every year. That is really cool. I hadn't seen that before. Look at Carew down here. 4 in a row. Joe D. Sometimes dude, look at Cobb. Cobb just took over. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I had never even noticed that before. If I had, I forgot. So really awesome combo cards. I love the combo card. I love the leaders cards from 76. I'm just going to go out with a couple more leaders cards here. Jim Palmer, Jim Hunter, Dennis Eckersley, earned run average from 1975. History on the card. And now I know to look at the backs of these really closely. Grove, Johnson. Love those combos. I mean, you got 6 incredible players right there on 2 cards. And it continues. Tom Seaver. Tommy. This one here. Like so. And then you've got this card, which I sent in. I have this in my personally graded collection. And I sent it in recently to get graded, and it came back. It's not perfectly centered, but I'm keeping it in my collection because I had it for so long ungraded, and I didn't think it was going to get an 8. I think I had it at a 6.5, and it got an 8. And this is Hank Aaron, most runs batted in lifetime, RBIs. Look at the back. On the leaderboard, above Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Ty Cobb. Love these cards. Hank Aaron's, these cards are so inexpensive. You could probably buy this card ungraded for $1 in the dollar bin. And I think I got this in a dollar bin or a $2 bin at some point. That's what I love. And it's a Hank Aaron. And it tells you what he did. He has the most RBIs in lifetime in 1976. I don't know if that's been broke. I'm sure it has not. In 1975. Just an awesome card right there, right? I mean, dude, there's so many ways to collect cards, and there's so many cards to love. That's why I love I'm not a set builder. So for me to go after all these centered, graded vintage cards that I display on my wall in chronological order, meaning 1952 all the way to 1980, and I can rotate them out with different cards from that set, or maybe have 2 up in each. That's, for me, my collection that's what I'm loving. I don't have to collect every card from 76. I can just collect what finds me and what ones strike me in the moment. Last one. Oh, here. We'll show this one because this is kind of cool. OPC. I didn't even realize I had this in my graded collection. Oh, I gave this an 8. That's probably a good grade for an OPC. The backs, you can read these backs so much better. I'll give that credit. These older ones, this one looks more vibrant than that one. This is really nice. Man, maybe I should send this thing in to get graded. You know, that's why I love doing these ungraded binders. Because over the years, over the last 2 years since I started grading cards out of it, the goal originally was to do that. If they ever became worth enough money to grade, all my stuff that isn't worth like getting graded at the time I purchased them, I put in these. And over the decades, they've slowly gotten graded, over the last 2 years since I started grading, but they've slowly, over the last couple decades, they've slowly become worth getting graded. I just didn't grade, but now I grade. So now, a card like this, I could send this into my next SGC orders, just to add it to my 4 guys right there and display these side by side. What an awesome card right there. Oh, I'm going to put that right there. Yeah, look at that thing's more vibrant than the 8 right there from the regular tops, which is crazy because later in life, OPC were like cheap cards, 87, like faded. And when we were kids, like nobody wanted them. But these vintage ones looking good. All right, I got the sporting news. I love these. Shout out to Adam, Splendid Sports. He has a really insane collection of these sporting news. And of course, when we were all kids, having these cards, I had a bunch of these from dollar boxes, like ones like this. And these were like full blown. This is a Honus Wagner rookie card. Not rookie. This is a Honus Wagner card. Like this was vintage. It wasn't like those 87 high grade or hybrid cards, whatever they were called. No, these were legit. Black and whites too. I remember as a kid, it was like, whoa, that is an old card. And these still to this day, if you want to buy them ungraded in a form like this, you're talking like $3. Maybe more in a grade like this. I don't know exactly, but not expensive and such a fun way to collect these guys. Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner. There's Ty Cobb of these. There's Ted Williams. There's all kinds of dudes. Put that right there. And last but not least, my favorite card from 1976, if I'm going off of the looks of the card, like the photo of the card, everything about this card. I don't have the Johnny Bench, and when I have that in hand, it might take over because it's a spectacular looking card. But I love the Lou Brock. Looks like he's taunting the pitcher, and he's on the bases as we know he should be, about to steal, and the color matching, even the background matches with this green here, and then the yellowish green like matches that. Everything about this card. It's always on my wall because it's my favorite, my ungraded graded wall you guys have seen. And this card is, and you got a Pirates in the back, like like we talked about. Pirates jerseys were just awesome. When I was a kid, even to this day, these old Pirates jerseys were awesome. How cool is that? I don't know who that is, but someone can tell me, Theo or Mangini or any Pirates guys out there. What an awesome card of Lou Brock. I look at this on my wall all the time. So, dude, there you go, you guys. I just love doing this. I love sharing where my collection is going, where it's been. And I appreciate you guys watching. And you know what I really love? Tell me what your 28th pick would be. Tell me what your worst would be, so we can go together and vote on these all the way up. Most everyone who commented last time commented what they thought was the worst, and I loved it because they were all over the map. But I think 66, a lot of people agreed with that, which I was really surprised. I thought I would kind of be on a lone island for that. So 76, number 28, what do you guys think? Okay, until next time, be inspired, don't be influenced.